And I think we're live on pre-show. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Amnon, is your mic on?
My mic is on.
All right, very good. Very good. Let's see who we've got in chat today. We've got Kyle, Rudy, Bill, Philip, Dave, Giles, Mike, Jan, Martin. Martin, you're my inspiration for next week's show. Kenny and Amnon. And Bill Connor hears voices. Well, that may or may not be a good thing. That's right. That's right. That's right. So, Amnon, were you my very first guest or were you my second guest? Do you remember? Second. Okay. Okay. How about that? Uh-oh. I hear static.
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. Second guest, that was in July of 2012, over 5 years ago. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
Bill.
You know, one of my favorite things this year was my visit to North Carolina in the spring to go hang out with you and Spence and Mike and Nick. And remember we went out to dinner? That was a treat. That was a treat.
We need to do it soon again.
That would be great. We are heading to Virginia for Thanksgiving. I mean, yeah, for Thanksgiving. I don't know that we would.
Now you started flying. You're not driving anymore.
Yeah, well, we'd be driving. We'd be driving.
Well.
Is anybody even watching this thing? They're carrying on about something else. They're not paying any attention to us. Oh, no, Giles says something. Okay, all right. Yeah, I think they're talking about Fats Domino died last night or early this morning. Want to welcome.
Giles need to be the secretary, taking minutes.
Yeah, that's
records.
Right. Keeping records.
Keeping us straight.
Mike Latta says they do hear us up in Canada, so that's Guy. Chris says there are two guys talking. Okay. If you're watching us on, let's see, the Facebook stream goes live in a few minutes. Actually, we could take it live right now since we're there. And the YouTube stream, if you're watching us on YouTube directly, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com or streamingidiots.com for that matter. And you can watch and get the chat at the same time. That's the real benefit there. Okay, so we're going to Facebook, to publishing tools, to videos, to that show. It's fetching the live stream. This can take a few seconds, says Facebook. It's scheduled to go live at 2:55 Eastern. And so we are going, can we make it go live now?
Could make it go live now.
Edit schedule. Schedule live. Manual start. There we go. Scheduled live videos will automatically transition, blah, blah, blah. Manual mode is if you'd like to go live before the planned time. That's what I want to do. Okay, switching over to manual mode, and I still have to click the go live key. All right, so we're live on Facebook now too. And that'll take just a moment to populate, I'm sure, with live video.
I'm telling you, the Vimix call in VidBlaster, the module here in VidBlaster with Vimix call, it's
what?
It's amazing. I mean, remember I'm using VidBlaster, right?
You're using VidBlaster now? You got to tell me that stuff before we start the pre-show. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
Mike Versteeg is going to want to check.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Let's see. We got 11 and a half minutes. Bill wants to know if Giles made me my. Let's see, Giles, did you make Tom his pre-show checklist? That's it. You know, it gets to the point, and Amnon, that probably is true for you after 23 years, where you don't use a checklist anymore. You just
No.
know it's just second nature. Turn on this, do that, do this, do that.
What's the worst that can happen?
What's the worst that can happen? Are you really asking that question? What's the worst that can happen? Well, the worst that can happen is anything. You know, actually, in some cases, the worst that can happen is you actually get to start the show and you get into it, and then you realize, you know, your video's upside down, or you don't have any audio, or some of those
and
things.
start again. You know, so.
Yeah, Bill Connor says a good thing pilots don't fly by Tom's rules. Well, and Bill, obviously the consequences are a lot more severe in a pilot situation. I was looking over a pilot checklist yesterday, as a matter of fact, and I was like, wow, all the things you have to check. But you know, you better check them. Who was it? One of my good friends here in Fairhope her dad used to fly a lot. And their pilot was taken off somewhere just to move a plane from one airport to another, and a mechanic had left a wrench in a flap or something like that, and he crashed and was killed. And it was just one of those stupid things. And I don't know if a checklist would have prevented that or not, but yep. Yep, that's serious stuff. But shows, we crash a show. It's just humor.
That shouldn't be part of a checklist. That should be part of the pattern. I mean, when I was working as a mechanic, it was the same thing. Before you close the hood, make sure there are no tools left there, because you can close the hood and create a bump, a dent in the so
I did that.
Yep. That's but
yep,
easier said than done.
Yep. You get in a hurry, you get distracted, your wife calls. Yeah, I know. All right, let's see. Ken is here. Welcome, Ken. Ken is the unofficial sponsor of Streaming Idiots with Dum Dums. We have Dum Dums. Yes, we do. And we're going to send Amnon a bunch for being a guest. And let's see. Steve Brown is here. Welcome, Steve. Timothy's here. Henry's here. Rich finally got the time right. I love it. Rich, we're about to go off daylight savings time next month. It's going to mess you up. John's here from North Alabama. Chris is here. Dan is PI Engineering. That's the X Keys guys. I know it's upside down, but that's the only way I can do it. Merle, welcome, Merle. John P, glad to have you. Kenny H, Jerry Harden. Yes, indeed. Love it, guys. And if you're watching and you're going, Tom, who in the world are you talking about? Come to easternshorebroadcasting.com, click the Watch Live tab, and that will take you to the show and the chat. I can see there are probably 9 or 10 people that are watching in YouTube that don't have the chat up. So you don't have to chat, just come lurk. But at least you kind of get on and on the back, behind the scenes stuff. And then there are a bunch of folks watching on Facebook, so come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com too. All right.
To educate them.
Tommy Willis wants to know who that older man is. Which one of us would that be? And Ken wants to know, was vMix supposed to release some new features this month or next, or am I dreaming? Ken, I think you may be right. I think vMix owes us some new features. They may. Good evening, Andres.
Martin is no longer here. He just heard that and he
yeah, that's right. Well, that's a different Martin S. That's Martin S. from Great Britain. Yes. That
Oh,
is
no.
Martin is famous for doing shows on World of Live Streaming out of the out of the boot of his car,
Oh, yeah, okay. I know.
or remotely.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Good stuff.
By the fence.
Yes, yes, indeed. All right, all right. So, Amnon, one of the things that I do want to talk about today, just so you'll have an idea, is the transition. You've gone through the
From
transition. We'll start back in the good old days when you went from, you know, taking a webcam through glass, and and then kind of working through, and we'll spend most of our time on the latest transition. But you've got I think a unique history, and I think a lot of folks will really be interested in it, especially people that are kind of on the bubble as to what they should do next. For example, live stream, not live stream, excuse me, Wirecast, Telestream is out there practically giving away their Wirecast gear hardware. I guess it's not selling, and so they're if you have Wirecast software, you can trade that in, I guess, at full value and get a Wirecast gear PC. I think their warehouse is stacking up with them. They're building them faster than they can sell them. But anyway, it's gonna. Oh, like Rudy says, to boldly go where no steed has gone before. That's right. That's Martin Steed. All right, good. And Dan is posting a Google link to something. Somebody will have to tell us what it is. Timothy. Oh, let's look at this, Amnon. Timothy says Amnon's next transition should be off of VidBlaster.
That's hard to do that.
Okay. Well, Timothy, you want to stay tuned. You definitely want to stay tuned.
I'm in love with Mike
Which Mike? Mike Latta?
Stieg.
Oh,
I don't care. I don't care how bad the software is. I'm going to stick with it just because of him.
oh, VidBlaster. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, that's true. That's true. He really is the guy. Oh, and VMix has shown up in the chat room. He said, "Hey, I figured I was in the right time zone, so I should tune in for once." Well, all right. Welcome to VMix. I suspect that is Tim from VMix. Ken Richard says that Amnon, your audio sounds funky.
Funky how?
Well, you'll have to ask Ken. I'll tell you, Amnon's I got like 27 different processors that his audio flows through.
Be careful.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Mike's not watching, but he might watch later. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Maybe I need to do this. No, I mean, was that just a jab or for real?
No, I think it's for real. I think as you first start out, I don't know if there's a gate that's opening or something, but your audio is a little wobbly, a little warbly at the very, very beginning. Yeah, right there. Yeah, right there. Yep.
Is it better now?
Talk
check.
Talk
check.
softly.
Talk softly.
That's a little better, but there's still a little something in it. I'm not an audio guy, obviously. Ken says, yes, that's what he's hearing. Giles says, your audio sounds a bit underwater. That's a good way to describe it for the first couple of seconds, and then it clears. Merle said it sounds like a Zoom setting. How could it be Zoom? He's using VidBlaster. You guys, I tell you what. Gee whiz. I want to give a shout out and a welcome to those of you that are just tuning in. We're in the pre-show. See the little pre-show right there? That's what tells you. We're in pre-show. And we want to welcome you to come on all the way over. Come on all the way into the show at Eastern Shore Broadcasting, over there to the other side of Amnon, easternshorebroadcasting.com. That way you get the chat. That's who we're responding to right now, is all those really super guys in chat. Like Giles, who says that your audio sounds a little gated.
It is gated, but I mean, it's mainly green, and it only goes red when I stop talking.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I'm using a 286, a DBX, so yeah, it's going through it.
you're just
Is this
such a
better
name
like that?
dropper.
I mean, okay, is this better like this, guys? I mean, I
It's
just
better. It's better when you talk with gusto, because I think the
I don't
gate
like.
is what's when you talk softly is when the gate's kind of trying to figure out what to
I
do.
mean, like it when I go with boom and sizzle, kind of like a thing.
I don't know about that. All right, we're coming up on
This
showtime. We got to be prompt today. We got to be on the mark, as it were.
why? What's the day
Well, because we have a special guest. We have
now?
a special
I'm used
guest.
to being 7 minutes late, 10 minutes late. It's normal on computers today now.
Yeah, I showed up Sunday and I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I'm not late. And of course, you guys hadn't even started. Oh, too funny, too funny. Okay, let's see. Let's check through the list one more time and welcome anybody that slipped in since we started. Tim, we've recognized already. Zach Tingagoot. Boy, I blew that. I'm just going to call you Zach. Zach, welcome. And Tess is here. Welcome, Tess. All right, so there's a lady in the house, guys. You have to clean up your act. So welcome. And those of you watching on YouTube and Facebook, and we'll go ahead and start the stream to Twitter now. Please come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com. That way you can get in on the chat because there's a lot going on with chat. Dan says he needs more mouse pads, Tim. And Tess says, hello, gentlemen. So there you go. All right. All right, Amnon. I am going to mute you. So
Okay.
you are muted. And I am going to go into the pre-show, yeah, that's right. You're muted. You can't have any complaints about his audio now. And let's fade to black and let's get going. Everybody ready? Let's do this. Well, hello and welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair, and this is Streaming Idiots. Yeah, you probably come to the wrong place by accident. But hey, hang around for a bit. At least check us out, see what we're all about. The idea behind the name, somebody was asking me this over the weekend. It says, Streaming Idiots? Come on, Tom. I said, the idea is to take the pressure off. You know, live streaming can be pretty intimidating for folks that have a passion for something and want to bring it to the rest of the world by live streaming a show or maybe a kid's soccer game or whatever. But by calling the show Streaming Idiots, we've said, hey, it's okay not to know all the answers. It's okay to come in and ask stupid questions because we've all been there. In fact, some of us are still there on occasion. So by all means, come in, take a seat, grab a snack, put your feet up, enjoy. We're glad to have you. Show runs about a half an hour. And if you miss it, if you're watching on YouTube, you can DVR it and pull it back the other way and hear anything that you may have missed. It also will be posted on YouTube, so you can watch it after the fact in case you missed something, you want to go back and hear the whole thing. If you're watching us now live on Facebook directly or Twitter or YouTube directly for that matter, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com and you can get it on the chat. There are a lot of folks in chat. They're having a great time discussing. They're not paying any attention to the show. But no, seriously, sometimes there's some great discussion that sort of parallels the show, and we'll grab some of that and bring that into the show as time goes on. So you're welcome to come join the chat at easternshorebroadcasting.com. Click the Watch Live tab. So excited about my guest today, Amnon Nissan with Nissan Communications. We're going to bring him on in just a minute. Amnon was the very second guest that I had on my show back in July 2012. That seems like the dark ages in live streaming. Live streaming is kind of like, live streaming years is kind of like dog years, you know? You know, something that happened 5 years ago was really 35 years ago. So anyway, I don't know where that was going. In the chat room, they're going, show? There's a show? Yeah, they just, some of them just tune into the chat, I think. It's too funny. It's too funny. I did mention on the show last week they were putting together, you know, periodically we'll do what I call a group buy. And that is, we'll get a bunch of folks together that are interested in purchasing a certain product or service or software, and then we'll go out and make a group purchase, and we can really knock the price down sometimes on that. And we're in the middle of a group buy on PTZ cameras from PTZ Optics. So if you're interested in getting in on this group buy, shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, or you can send me a Facebook message. You can join our Facebook group. Right down there at the bottom, facebook.com/groups/streaming-idiots, and communicate with me and say, hey, Tom, I'm interested in a PTZ for my church, or we're thinking about putting one in the radio station, or we've got a couple here in the TV station and we want to get some others. There are lots of different uses for the darn PTZ camera. Somebody asked me that the other day, said, Tom, you know, if I had one, where could I use it? What kind of places could I use it in? And we've put them in TV stations and radio stations and churches and concert halls and event venues. People have been using them for sports. I couldn't believe you could use one for sports broadcasting, but I got proved wrong on that one. So there's so many different ways. So if you're interested in that, we're putting together a group buy. Shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, or shoot me a personal message. I guess they call it a PM. Through Facebook, and I'll respond. And we'll probably got another week to take names of folks that are interested. No obligation, but we can go in and kind of negotiate a price and see if that's what everybody likes. If that's the case, then you can make the buy at that price. So there you go. And yes, we do ship overseas. We've been asked that a couple of times. So today we have, I said earlier that it was the grandfather of live streaming. I think since live streaming goes like, he's making faces in the green room here. Since live streaming is like dog years, you know, something that happened 20 years ago is like 140 years in dog years. So our guest today is not the grandfather of live streaming. I think he's the great-granddaddy of live streaming. We're making him older by the minute. I want to bring Amnon Nissan into the show. Amnon, welcome. Glad to have you. Do you have audio?
Do I have audio?
Ah, you have audio. Okay. Very good. Very good. Welcome.
This audio, I'll fill up the tank with this audio, so we'll have it. Okay.
Fill up the tank with the audio. That's right. That's right. So I didn't mean to offend you by making you a great-grandfather. But you really have been there since the very beginning. I mean, you guys with your radio station 24 years ago kind of pioneered the whole concept of, I guess then it was sort of a radio station with a video feed. And
well, that wasn't 23 years ago. I mean,
that wasn't 23. You started the radio show 23 years ago. Yeah.
When Ustream became known,
right?
That's when we said, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, we can do that." And we started doing it in the studio. The lighting was bad. It was really everything was bad, but people could watch and listen to us.
Well,
and
I bet if Mike Phillips was there, the video may have been bad, but the audio was pristine.
The audio was always perfect because we used the radio station audio to pipe it into what was it? I think that was Wirecast Producer.
Yeah.
That YouTube was using. I mean, that Ustream was using.
Yeah.
but the camera was the trick. I mean, we wanted to see both of us, and in many cases, I was sitting on the outside, on the side of the technician that was like the screener, the techie guy, because I was running the board also. Toward that time, they did not have, they were cutting back, and I had to run the board myself, which was fine. It wasn't a big deal. But we ended up putting the camera on my side of the wall with two glasses. I mean, it was like, because of radio station, people would know, but reflection of audio, it was going through two glasses to go into the studio. It was amazing. I mean, people still loved it and everything, but that's how it started. And when they decided that they're not going to not produce, but promote it anymore, that's when we decided we're going to go on our own and do it the right way. And that's when I built the studio, and we continue doing it here.
And and at some point after that is when you and I crossed paths back in 2010 or 11 or something.
I don't remember the year that it was, but a long time ago.
A long time ago in live streaming years. That's right. And I was representing a software product that did live video production that will go unnamed, and you got it and went nuts with it. It was software that was really easy to use. It was easy to learn, but it had a pretty low ceiling. And it had a few bugs crawling around in the ceiling.
You had to be a really short guy to use it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then you jumped ship from that to that other software that will go unnamed. Oh, come on. Go.
Yep.
Let's name it.
Okay, I jumped to Wirecast.
You jumped from VidBlaster to Wirecast.
Right.
And
it took
that was
forever.
Wirecast 4?
Really? That was Wirecast 4, yeah.
Okay. And unlike VidBlaster, it was difficult to set up.
It was very difficult, and I fought it for about a year before I actually jumped into it.
Yep.
I didn't jump into it. I was pushed into it, so to speak.
So to speak.
I couldn't play VidBlaster anymore. I mean, it was bad.
It was like standing on an island with a hurricane coming and all the sand is washing away. Yeah, you had no choice. You had to jump ship.
It wasn't funny. It wasn't fun. It was really, I mean,
Yeah.
And then I was lucky. I always had people around me that could help. And I had Steve Haywood, who, got me all set up. And I said, okay, now I can use it. And I used it, and it was great. Suddenly, oh, wow, HD and all that kind of stuff. Really? And I used it until what? Until about 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Yep.
What precipitated the thought to even leave Wirecast?
The main problem that I had, and remember now, for my show, I wouldn't care much about it. But I do shows for other people who are here and they're paying for it.
Right.
One of the biggest problem with it was, or it still is, with version 6. I don't know how it is in 7 or 8. Because I kept on using version 6. I believe in, if something works, just keep using it. Never mind. If you play a video, like the intro, or the outro, or even a video from inside, like in the middle of the show.
Right.
You have to turn off your headphones in the program. There's a little bitty icon right by the volume, and you have to click it. Otherwise, it goes like that, like this. Exactly. It gets louder and louder. And it was very uncomfortable. I could never master it. You would click that icon and you say, okay, I got it. And then you go to the video. And before you go back, you click that video again. And in many, that icon again. And in many cases, it wasn't actually clicking it. It is, I mean, for programmers, for somebody that has to do with GUIs, if you turning an icon from grayish to white, don't have the icon go white when you hover over it, because at that point you don't know you don't see it going on or off. It always looks like it's on. So you would, when I come back and it's not correct, I would have to really scramble to get it. But, you know, and I don't like to edit videos. I don't edit any of the videos of the shows that we do. And it would have that echo thing. And I kept on, you know, every now and then it will happen.
The echo was not just for you, it was for everybody.
No, it goes out, because remember, I don't wear headphones like you do.
Right.
I've got speakers. Yeah, I've got speakers. Mike fixed it up here so we can use speakers. And it was very bad. And then I had a complaint from one of them saying, why was this like that? I said, it's me. It's, you know. And at that point,
operator error.
It's always up. The problem is always between the keyboard and the chair, you know, or the mouse and the chair.
Right.
But it was just not done right. It wasn't implemented correctly. So Nick was trying to push me to use vMix. You were trying to push me to use vMix, and you went to great lengths to get me. And I finally decided, okay, it's time. There was another reason, but I can't talk about it now. And you know what I'm talking about.
Have you tried to actually cash that check? I don't know that check's any good.
Okay. So and Nick always told me, he said, with vMix, you will never have that problem, Amnon. And sure enough, I mean, since I started using it, I mean, I set it up. It took about 3 days. And I started on a Wednesday, and I don't have shows sometimes every other Wednesday. I don't have a show. So I had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday to set it up. And the lucky thing, like we said last week, like I was explaining, that I have so many profiles. Each show, I mean, 8 shows, and each show has different profiles. One on Skype, one without Skype, 2 in the studio, 3 in the studio. I don't do one profile with a whole bunch of inputs. I do a profile for each. So it was good. It was a lot of practice, one after another. And by the time I got to the end, I mean, I was really doing. I said, "Gosh, that's how easy it was," and I fought it for over a year. And that is so nice.
All right, hold on. Wait. You just let that slip by. You let that slip by me, and you thought that you were just gonna. I'll just say it and we'll slip by. You pondered this decision to switch to vMix for a year, and in the early days, what was it that was keeping you from pulling the trigger? Why were you not? Why a year ago? Why didn't you say yes? Let's go.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks. I am not good in learning something new. And besides, I mean, remember again.
But that's true today.
That's true today. But there again, that reason, which I can talk about, pushed me to it. And you were there, and Nick was there, and you guys said, "Don't worry, Amnon," because I always problem is, again, that when you do shows for other people, you can't take and say, okay, you know, you take 2 weeks off if you want to. Right. I can do that.
Yeah.
I
You
have
can't
I have
you can't tell them, oh, it's not working today. Sorry, come
right.
back next week.
So,
Yeah.
so that's why it was easy to just hang on with it and use it and use it and use it. But then it gets to the point, and the same thing happened with Wirecast. When I went from VidBlaster, I fought it and fought it and fought it. And then when I finally had it running, I said, dang, why didn't I do it before? The same
Right.
thing here. So it was just the right time. And I'm so glad I did it. It does what I want it to do. It does it a lot easier. I don't have to, you click and it works and you get nothing to worry about. Now, the first problem that I had with vMix, and again, I don't want to tell you that I don't have little teeny complaints about the way that it does things.
Yep.
But when we were trying to set up vMix to vMix, it wouldn't work. And I did not want to change my setup because I have a show tonight. And I don't want to screw things up and then, something happened. That was the first thing. But I think, and I need to ask Nick. Nick was telling me when vMix Call came out, he said, Amnon, you won't be able to use it because you can't use a mixer, or you told me a USB mixer.
Right.
And we're using a USB mixer, and that's the way it's going to stay. I'm not going to learn how to use a virtual mixer. and for
Famous last words.
Well, right now we're using Chrome to get back to you.
Right.
And
Right.
I would love to see what the picture would have been if we went vMix to me, because I would think that it would be a lot better.
Actually,
Probably.
it's really funny because Chrome will adapt the resolution and bitrate based on the bandwidth. So you may actually have a better video than the video that we were dealing with earlier today when we were first setting up. It looks much sharper.
And I'm set up.
Your audio is terrible. Your audio needs all sorts of work.
Well,
I don't know whoever set that up. It was probably some old guy that set it up. That's the problem right there.
Yeah. But the other thing, the other nice thing is that the CPU usage went down.
Yeah. Yeah.
With vMix.
Yeah. And didn't.
But I'm told that Wirecast 8 also brings it down. So, but I don't know yet.
Got you. Folks, if you're just joining us, welcome. This is Streaming Idiots. My guest today is Amnon Nissan with Nissan Communications in North Carolina. And Amnon has been doing live streaming since the early days of live streaming. Took his terrestrial radio show and brought a camera into it, and then has, long story short, has opened up a live streaming studio of his own and has folks that come in almost every day of the week for a live show. And we're talking about the transitions that he's made from first VidBlaster to Wirecast and now to vMix. If you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, we invite you to come watch us on EasternShoreBroadcasting.com. It won't take you but a second to get there. Plus, you'll get the chat room, and there's a lot of great conversation going on in chat right now. So, Amnon, now that you've got vMix, do you see anything that you can do now that you couldn't do before?
Yes. I don't know that I wasn't able to do it before, but I wasn't able to easily do it before. Okay. I love how the lower thirds work. I love the way that you adjust the chroma in each shot.
Uh-huh.
The audio setup, the audio mixer on the side. I mean, in the beginning I didn't understand. I said, so you can turn that off and that on, and you can adjust the volume of the intro, but not the actual show. And there are things like that, but I can't think of anything that I couldn't do before. But there are things that I didn't do before.
Right. Right. That you chose not
Was
to.
it?
Yeah.
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 Now,
Gotcha.
it was really frustrating in the beginning to do the lower thirds with the XAML,
Uh-huh.
to have to produce it. I mean, to create the lower third. It's the same lower thirds that I was using with Wirecast, and to get them to convert it, so to speak, or saved, and then figure out how to put the text on it now. But now that I understand it, wow, I even making it so it goes in and out instead of staying there all.
An
These are the
animated
things.
lower third. I love it. So are
It's
you
not.
using?
I'm
Sorry, go
using
ahead.
just the slide.
Mhm.
It's not. I'm not using any of the animated ones.
Okay. Okay. You'll get there, one step at a time. So are you using a control surface of any kind?
I tried. I have the Korg,
Right.
and I tried it, and I didn't feel. I mean, I'm used to the mouse. And Nick, if he was here, he would have hit me over the head. But when he was here 2 weeks ago, he got me. He said, "Okay, here, and then let's do this." And I figured I had to do it, and I said, "Okay," but now you have to remember each. Okay, which one is this, and which one, what this one does, and it's again, it may take time
Right.
to get used to it, and maybe it will be better. But for now, I'm not using it anymore.
I have
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
I have a button here on my X keys that's
Yeah.
marked guest audio,
Yeah.
and I can mute you with the push of a button.
Okay. Here's my question.
I can also mute me with the push of a button. What's your
But
question? I'm sorry.
The question is, so you have that button. Now, will that button follow each and every profile?
Yes,
It will.
it will.
Now, if I want,
But it doesn't have to.
wait, no. You see, that's what I
But it
want to
will.
understand, which I don't understand. If you have profile A, profile B, yeah, go ahead. Profile C. Profile A, I want button number 1 to bring up the double box. Profile number 2, I want A to bring the double box, but on 3, I want A to bring the guest, not the guest, but the host who is on Skype.
Mhm.
Does the setup of the layout of the control surface, is it saved in the profile, or is it saved in the main settings of vMix?
Yes. You can do it either way. You can have a set of shortcuts that are specific to just that profile, or you can have shortcuts that are universal. Now, you
Okay,
can't use the same button for both.
Yeah, I don't need anything that's universal.
Okay.
I would rather have something that I do a profile, and I know that these are the buttons for that profile, because I was trying to do it according to the inputs that I have when I go to the show.
Uh-huh.
Not all of them, but just the one I use. And okay, 1 is 1, 2 is 2,
Sure.
3 is 3, 4 is 4.
Right.
So if I have 4 or if I have 7, I want them to be in the same order.
Sure.
So it will save it, are you saying?
Yeah.
Okay, you see, I wasn't clear on that.
But, you got to start where you are, and you keep building and building and building and building, and you get more and more complex. There's a
Like
lot
I
to be said for keeping things simple, because if something's simple, it doesn't break very easily, and if it does, it's easy to figure out. But when you end up, I mean, we're just now talking about shortcuts, but wait till you discover triggers. Oh, you're going to love triggers. But Sometimes you can lose a trigger. It's like, where did I put that trigger? Is it on this input or that input? We need some sort of way of a directory of where our triggers are. That would be a good vMix feature request. No, you guys can't put that in. That's mine. I get to put that one in. An overall directory of triggers so we can find out. Because I have had triggers that I've put in, then I forgot they were there. And it's like, why does this thing keep popping up? Where's it coming from?
I was trying to do a trigger for a lower third.
Oh, so when I click, that's good.
When I tried, it didn't work. When I click on my shot, for instance, it will bring it up. It will slide the lower third. Right. And after about 10 seconds, it will slide it back out.
Right.
I tried all kind of different combinations. I'm doing something wrong because you told me that it should work. So I said, no, I won't. Because I learn a whole lot better when I do it and I mess up and I spend hours on it. Then I'll never forget it. One of these days I get okay, I can figure it out. Tell me how to do it.
I agree. And then me too.
Yeah. So that's how. But yeah, it's got a lot of options. I mean, it's got so many options. It's great.
Very good. The check is in the mail. Yes, sir.
And one of those things, that was another reason why I fought it for so long. It was overwhelming. You go into the settings and you don't have that in Wirecast.
Yeah.
The menu in Wirecast is, or maybe I was used to it already, but you go in and say, oh gosh, what in the world? I don't know what to do in this and that, and you have to add this here. But now that I'm better with it, I know how to add an input real quick and do it. So, but that was one of the.
It's like driving into a new town. You know, you don't know where the grocery store is. You have to find out where the grocery store is. You know, you don't know where the pharmacy is. You have to learn your way. Yep. And one of the things that I loved about vMix when I came into it was that every possible function that I could do a shortcut was listed. I didn't have to know what they were and type them out by hand. I just selected them from a menu. It's like, oh, I can do this and I can do that. And it was like when as a kid, I used to go to the library to write reports for school. Yes, I did go to school. And you'd have an encyclopedia and you go through all the pages in the encyclopedia and it was like, oh, wow, I'm doing a report on this, but this looks really interesting. So I'd read about that and then I'd go to the next one. And you know, that's what I miss about Google is that Google takes me right where I want to go and I don't get to learn all this ancillary stuff at the same time, although sometimes I do. But
go ahead.
But with vMix, all those shortcut options are there and they're even categorized so that I can pick a particular category of shortcuts. For example, I want to do a shortcut with a transition. It gives me a list of all the shortcuts that have to do with transitions. And I like that kind of organization where you can kind of drill down a little bit. Of course, I can look at all 300 some odd shortcuts at one time or functions that I can do in a shortcut. And, you know, that always boggles me. And I'm like, oh, wow, I want to learn about this one. What was it? Something like something about start index. Well, what's a start index? I got to find out about that because I might need it one day. And if I know about it, then I can use it and I can share it with my friends. I'm sorry, I was on a roll.
No, I was just going to say that the thing that helped me a lot in the beginning, it got me over that hump to get into it, was all the good videos. The videos that vMix has on site, your shows.
Yeah.
They're great. And I mean, I was always listening to the show, but I wasn't paying attention to the technical talk when you were talking about vMix because I wasn't using it.
Right.
So it didn't mean anything. It was shoop right over my head.
Yep.
So I went back and watched some of those. And a lot of these helped me. I said, oh, okay, so this is how. Oh, so that's how. Mm-hmm. And it's that coupled with your help and Nick's help, you know, I mean, it may cause me to use it so fast.
Do you have my cell number?
No.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. All my friends, all my clients have my cell number. That's right. Yep. Yep. I'll get a
Yeah,
call. I'll get a call at 10 o'clock at night, which is 11 o'clock Eastern. And it says Amnon Nissan. I was like, what are you doing calling me at 10 o'clock? Well, I was just thinking about this. Can you do this? Oh, he's gone away. Oh, well, it was a great show. He's back. He's back.
But to recap it,
Yes.
vMix is great. I still say that there are some things that could be done better as far as the GUI. I'm not technical as far as how video should work.
Okay.
And I'm willing to learn and to adapt to the way that it should be. But certain things in the GUI should work according to how a user would use it, not how a professional. I don't think it's clear how somebody who doesn't do it every day, 8 hours a day, would use it, because it's a switcher. Some people sit for 8 hours shift and use their switchers.
Right.
But if you do it once a week, twice a week, I mean, some things need to be different. And my main beef is the streaming profile. I really don't understand. I understand the problem with Facebook and streaming to another, but those terms are not. Facebook doesn't tell vMix, these are our terms. Facebook tells me, the broadcaster, these are our terms. You cannot do it. But vMix should make it available. If I want to break the law or break their terms, because there are ways to break it.
They did.
There are more than there's more.
And
than
Facebook
one
blocked vMix for 9 hours. It blocked anything that Facebook refused streams from anything that came from a vMix software, and I was there when it happened. Yes, and it was while we were at StreamCon in Atlanta back in April or May, whenever that was, and Martin had to go rewrite some code right there at the convention, right there at the conference, to be able to work around that, because Facebook has said, that's it. Anything that comes from vMix.
So why aren't they doing the same thing to Wirecast?
I don't know.
See?
They must. I don't know. But it shut down. I think it was the threat. I think the threat from vMix was higher because more people are probably using it now.
No, I mean, it's fine. Like I said, there are other ways to do it.
Right.
But the other thing that I don't understand why they didn't program in there. I don't use just one CDN.
Right. You use 5 or 6, don't you?
5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
And I don't use all of them at once.
Right.
I don't see any here in Wirecast. You go into the setup of the streams.
Right.
You set up the stream, and you can check. When I click stream, I want you to use this one, and this one.
Right.
The other ones are there, but they're not being used.
Right.
Over here, you can't save it. You can only do 3, and you can't really save others. Why don't you give me the option to save as many as I want? And then for this show, I want to use this one. For that show, I want to use this, and this. There's no reason to keep it at 3. I understand that when you click stream, it's going to take all 3. Which in Wirecast, you could do that, or you could have clicked on output and then start this one and this one only. And it will do it on the fly. But to save, so you don't have to. And that's another thing. Why Facebook? Are you telling me that more people with Facebook stream to just for their friends? and not to the public?
Oh, I don't have a
Why?
clue.
Okay. Why is the default when you go to set up a Facebook uh, stream, you have to change every time? You have to change it. You have to rewrite it from scratch, and you have to choose which page you want it to go to, and whether you want it to be public or for friends. And friends is the default. Why? Why can't you leave it?
We need to talk.
Okay.
I don't know I don't know who set you up with that workflow, but we need to talk about it.
Okay.
A workflow that will cut about 25 steps off of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not out there. And if you go to the vMix forum, there is no information about how to do it.
I did a video on it.
Okay. I'm searching the forum. I'm sure a lot of people would like to have that in order to cut back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So these are the little, I mean, they're not important. They're not going to stop me from using the software.
Right.
But they will make the software a lot more friendly.
Sure. Good. Good.
It could be.
Good.
Yeah, but
good stuff.
It's great stuff. And it's cheaper too.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's undervalued, underpriced.
Well,
anyway,
it is you know what? Before I talked to you, or maybe it was after I talked to you about VidBlaster.
Yeah.
There was already vMix out there. You remember?
I do.
It didn't look anything like this. It was like, it was really something out of, and I actually still have it loaded on one of my laptops here. And it was something that, I mean, what is that? Because we always tried to find something different.
Right.
And it was, and I remember when you went into vMix, I said, yeah, I was using that, geez, years and years ago. Oh, and I didn't use it. I saw it and I tried to use it.
Right. Likewise. Yeah. Likewise. I think I looked at it first in 2012 and I said, I don't get it. It wasn't very intuitive. It wasn't.
No, it was not.
It wasn't like VidBlaster that you just did what you thought would work, and it did. But once you get over that hump, it's like, oh wow, okay, I get it.
Yep.
It's Legos, but it's Legos on steroids. Yep. Yep. Good suggestions. I like it. I like it.
They've been doing great work on it. Great work on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you using NDI in your studio yet?
Not yet. No, because you see, again, it's what works. I don't fool around with. So the way that I do my streaming, now I'm sitting on my switching machine.
Yeah.
And I use that for Facebook only. I have the HDMI going to another machine, which is right now doing the 24/7 streaming.
Right.
And when I go live, I switch the shot to the live shot, and now I'm streaming to all those other CDNs at the same time.
Aha.
Should I have said that?
No, that's fine.
So,
Facebook is not watching.
Yeah. So this is now. Nick was telling me, he said, Amnon, you can do away with the capture card on the other machine and just do it with NDI. I said, when the time comes. Right now, it's working. I have no problem with it.
And you can do it with the push of a button.
Well, okay. I mean, I do have an X.
Yeah.
I have an X keys with 52 keys or something like that.
52. Oh, interesting.
I don't know. It's pretty big.
Okay.
You want me to bring it?
Next time, yeah.
Show it? No, okay.
Oh, if you've got it right there, yeah, show it. Show us what you got.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, as Amnon steps away, we've gone overtime a little bit, but heck, it's so much fun to chat with him. I hope you guys are hanging in there with us. If you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com and you can get in on the chat. Although the chat's kind of silent. I think they're stunned. Oh, yeah. Look at that. That is cool. I have
Which
not
one
seen
is
that. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that model.
Hey, KP58X PUSB.
I'll be darned. I'll be darned. That is cool. I love it. I love it.
This came from, oh, shoot. I can't believe I forgot his name. The guy
Mike.
who was on,
Mike
no,
Phillips, the old guy.
no, this came, what was the name from the guy from North Carolina who was doing the show with the guy from England?
Vance.
Vance Willis.
Yeah.
That's
Vance Willis.
who gave
Yeah.
it to him.
Yeah. Dan from PI Engineering, the X Key guys, is in the chat room, and he said it's an old one, a X Keys USB Pro, which I think graduated onto this guy, which is the X Keys XK80. So it's got a few more keys on it.
I don't have, as things are right now here, I don't have room for this to be able to, and I don't think I need so many buttons. I don't.
Of course not. Of course not.
He gave me this one to use with VidBlaster.
Aha. All right. Did it work?
Never did. You remember? I bought the cord because you told me to back then.
Yeah.
And you sent me the driver for it. But I just took the cord out of the box 3 weeks ago. So 5 years it's up there on the shelf, never used.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, eBay, man. eBay.
No. I'll use it. I mean, I'll probably
Right.
start using it.
Dan says he doesn't think that vMix supports the old one directly. So we may have to help you with a driver or something on that one.
I'm not gonna be using it. It's way too many keys, and it's also too big to fit on the desk here comfortably.
Okay. Gotcha.
The
Gotcha.
Korg will go perfectly right beside the Computer 2K Voice laptop.
Okay.
So it's perfect
Got
there.
it. Got it. So, folks, if you're ever in North Carolina, you need to stop by and see Amnon's studio. It's open every day of the week. In fact, it's open 24 hours a day. And he'd love to have you stop by. No, seriously. If you would like to see some of the product that Amnon's been producing, go on over to NissanCommunications.com, and you can see there are pre-recorded shows streaming right now. Plus, you can get the schedule of shows that stream throughout the week, days and evenings and weekends. It's a really eclectic grouping of shows about all sorts of topics. So it's really good.
It's fun.
Yeah, that's right. It's fun. It's fun. Well, let's transition over into post-show. So if you're watching us live, hang on for a few minutes. If you're watching us on YouTube after the fact, thanks so much for watching. In fact, Amnon, let me go ahead and do the close, and then we'll come back. So we thank Amnon for taking time out to be with us today. He's so knowledgeable, and there's such a richness and a depth to his history in live streaming. It's always a treat to chat with him. Coming up next week, we're going to pull a Martin Steed and try to do a live broadcast from Interstate 65 in Florida, same time Wednesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. I will be traveling that day, and I thought, well, let's see if we can't do a vMix call back here to the studio and let the studio equipment go ahead and do the live stream. So we got to figure out the technical part of that. Probably use what's it called? TeamViewer to help us out with part of that, and then vMix call to make the connection. So we'll see. That'll be fun. And then coming up 2 weeks from today, Michael Rempel is going to be on. He's the audio professor, and we'll talk a little bit about audio. And if you're interested in audio, or even if you're not, but you say to yourself, I just don't know enough about the subject. I don't know enough about how it works. We're going to dive into some of that. So this is a show that you'll want to put on your calendar for November 8th to come on in, and it's great if you're there live because it means you can ask questions, and that'll be I think the real bonus of it. So we'll have a good show next week. That's Michael Rempel on 11/8, and then 11 will be the mobile broadcast, and then we're not sure about the 15th, and on the 22nd we'll probably take a break for Thanksgiving. So that's the next couple of weeks. Don't forget about the PTZ Optics group buy. If you're interested in that, shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, or send me a PM through the Streaming Idiots Facebook group, which I hope you will join. Gosh, I guess that's, the infomercial part. Sorry. The commercial part. All of this has been info, but now the commercial part. I am an authorized reseller for vMix and Magewell. That's the capture card folks. For Marshall, and we specifically have the Marshall camera line. For PTZ Optics, of course, and then my favorite, the X Keys. So if I can help you with any of those products, or if you have them and you need some support, especially for the vMix, we do sell a support package for that. What else? Oh yeah, and we do design and build custom streaming PCs. So if you're needing one for your church or your sports team or your talk show, we just shipped one out Friday to a great young couple in California that are going to start a talk show with it. If I can help you, even if you just want to chat about that, you think that I can help fill in some of the gaps in your knowledge, shoot me an email, tom@easternshorebroadcasting.com, and we can figure out a time to chat. So thanks so much for tuning in. If you're watching us live, stick around for the post show, and we'll be back in, golly, if I can figure out how to get out of this thing, we'll be back in just a minute. Take care. And we are done. And oops, wrong post show. How about that one? Let me get Amnon's audio back on. Amnon, are you there?
I'm here.
You sound like you weren't quite sure there for a second.
No,
Look,
I had to.
Great show, man. Great show. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're the ones that making this show.
Well,
But you see something at the end. You said something that you said, and Thanksgiving will take a break there.
Yeah.
From 1993.
Yes.
Till today, I missed 2 shows.
Well, I hope you had a good excuse for both of them.
One I was sick. One I was sick, but no, the show kept on going. I mean, the guys did do it.
Yeah.
But I was not on it. I mean, we never missed a Sunday. Christmas was the best shows because everybody would get new stuff and they want to know how to use it. Holidays never played, were never a reason not to do a show. Every Sunday since day one, there was a show.
Awesome.
People say, don't you go on vacation? No, I don't. I'm vacation all day long.
Yeah, that's right. Why would you want to go on vacation when you get to do what you like?
Yeah. Now I'm here, and I know we're not doing the vMix to vMix, but I just noticed that my external is not the right external. Because it's not going to the other machine. What did we change? There was something, display 1, display 2, or something like that you told me to click on, and I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But if we didn't save it, don't save it, and it'll revert back to the
No,
previous.
this is just the different.
Oh, this is just for today. Yeah.
This is just for today, a profile for today.
Gotcha.
But the only reason I'm saying, because I want to know. I know I can go to the other one and it'll work, but I really want to know. And there was something in the external, but it's not in the settings. Probably if I'll go to one of those other, the output, the external is not going to miss what I'm sending to you, right?
Well, if it does, we'll fix it.
I don't know which one I'm on. How do I know which external I'm on? Where's the info? It doesn't say anything. If I click on the gear of external, it wants to know 2, 3, 4, NDI or external output settings. If I clicked on setting, oh, there's it, external 1 and external 2. And external 1 is, yeah, I don't know. Never mind. Don't worry about it now.
Okay.
I'll figure it out. I'm actually going to save this one as is and try to figure out why it's not sending the signal to the other. Wait, what about this full screen? Why is the full screen? Oh no, it's not colored. It's not supposed to be colored. That's fine. Ah, yeah, laugh at me.
Well, it's fun to learn all this stuff, and eventually, as you do, you're gonna mess up, and then the trick is how to get it unmessed, and that's where the learning and the fun comes in.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
okay, let's see. We got a question in the chat. Rich is asking, how many externals can you do at the same time? 2? So 3 streams from vMix Streambox, and how many from external? 2, so 5 total. Rich, with vMix 20, you can now do, golly, it's different for different packages, but I know the Pro and I think the 4K allow for 6 external outputs. And then, of course, the 3 streams. Here in my studio, Amnon hasn't discovered the ease and the wonder of NDI yet.
no.
But here I'm running 2 PCs. One is communicating with him and doing the production and streaming to Facebook, to Periscope. And then the other one is streaming and recording it, streaming to YouTube and Facebook. So theoretically, I could add 3 more streams, plus doing externals from any of those. You just need 1 external. If you're running some sort of soft browser-based streamer, you have pick up the. I think you can share externals. I could be wrong on that, but I think you can. I know you can't share webcams, but I think you can share externals. Giles says 2 externals plus 2 NDI outputs plus 2 full screens. And it depends on what level of vMix you have. Right now, I've got 3 full screens available to me because I've got 3 monitors. And actually, Amnon is on a full screen right there above my camera. And that is the output of the vMix call code that I sent him. That particular input goes directly to that monitor. So it's kind of it allows me to maintain eye contact with him and look at him at the same time, which sometimes is different if you've got a monitor off to the side where your guest or your host is. Where am I in your setup, Amnon? Am I bottom right, bottom left? Point to my image.
What I'm looking is just left and right. What do you mean?
So you're looking right at me right now?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I mean, my browser. I mean, remember Chrome. So all I have is this. I see in Chrome exactly the same thing that's on the stream itself. Let me see. Yeah, I see the same thing.
Okay.
That's what you're sending me.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's what the vMix call is showing me. Yeah. And then I have me in picture-in-picture.
I'm sending you the output. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I see.
Right.
So what do you mean? What did you mean? Lower left, lower right? I mean,
I just didn't know where the monitor was that had my image on it.
Oh, I actually put that. I put the browser. I placed it because I don't have to switch. I placed it so when I look at you, I'm looking almost at. I mean, now I'm looking at you. Now I'm looking at the camera.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at the camera.
Yeah.
And
Good.
I this is why I wish that Vmix will do the same as Wirecast, where they will let you do away with the preview and allow me to put the program all the way on the left, so it can be right next to the camera, so it will look more like you're looking at the camera when you're looking at somebody on Skype or wherever they are. Which
Yeah, I'm
now
trying to
there's
do
no way.
that. It won't move.
No, you can't move it.
But maybe one day. Maybe one day.
Yeah. No, you see, these are just the little things that I was talking about that can make it a little more usable. Because yeah, I mean, if I put the thing where it started, so now I have to look at you over here, over there,
Right.
and it's not good because I'm looking way to the side, or I can put it here and look at you here, and the camera is there. If I had to do switching,
Right.
but I can place it just like that, and right now you're right next to the camera, so it looks almost like I'm looking at the camera the whole time. Yeah.
One day I want to set up a teleprompter with a monitor that's running essentially your image, so I can look straight into the camera and straight at you at the same time. I think that's going to be the bomb.
Vance had that at
Did he
his
do that?
place.
Yeah.
He had an angled glass right in front of the monitor,
Right.
and could read from it or whatever, and he's looking right at you. Yeah, actually, in front of the camera.
You know, that show is back on Studio Tech Live or
Huh?
Studio Tech TV. I don't think Vance
But
is on it. I think it's just
He
Mark
is?
and
Yeah.
Mark and Peter.
Yeah, I haven't spoken with Vance in some time. We used to talk on a regular basis, but he got busy. I got busy, and it goes by the wayside.
The good old days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But this was really nice. That also, I did not have to scroll up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down to see the chat and to see the video.
Uh-huh. Well, you know, both of those pop out.
Yeah, but then you still have to start cropping and put this next to this and all that. But this was really nice. Yeah, Tom, you think. There are some, you can get some teleprompters on eBay and adapt them to what you want to do.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yep.
I don't think. And you can always call Obama and ask him because he's good with that.
You're bad. You are so bad. Dan, great having you on the show. Thanks so much. Dan's got to go. Let's see who's here now. We've got Ken. Martin K is here. Hey, Martin. Bill, Jan, Henry, Martin Steed, Michael, Rich, Dave, the other Rich, Amnon, Chris, Jim. Hey, Jim. Jerome's here. Welcome, Jerome. Dan, Dave Edwards is here from the West Coast. Dave, good to see you. Merle, Kent. All right. Clint is here too. Mike, Jan, Kenny, Michael, Jerry, John Persinger. Welcome, John. Glad to have you. Byron. Is that the Byron? That's not Lord Byron, is it? Tommy Willis, Giles, and the list reorganized itself again. Doggone it. We are about at the end of the road with Chatwing. Last week, was it last week? The week before, I had to purchase a month subscription to Chatwing because they were holding it hostage. So we'll come up with another.
So
chat.
what are you doing? I mean, what are you going to do?
I haven't decided yet, but I will be not using Chatwing anymore, and I will use something else in its place. You know, it's funny. the reason I went to Chatwing originally was so that I could set up a moderator, because we had a bad situation with a troll that stumbled into our chat one time. This is probably 3 years ago. And I said, okay, well, we need a way to beat off the trolls. And so I found Chatwing and set up some folks that would agree to be moderators, and then never had a problem with it. And I think before that I was just using IRC. So it wasn't anything fancy.
I started with PHP pre-chat.
Right.
And I'm still using the old version from day one, and it works great. And if there is a problem, I'll just become a moderator and knock them off and block them, and and give other people the password to do that.
I'm thinking I'd like to choose an IRC chat because vMix Social will accept that as a source, and I can post the chat essentially as a lower third, and it'll just scroll through comment after comment. I haven't done that because I didn't want to have to moderate them, and I also didn't want to just let them go up there unmoderated, because you know what some of these people will say. Gee whiz, they say the darndest things.
I don't know. I mean, I don't see. I can't say that I saw anything that wasn't appropriate in your chat.
Well, anything Jan Lin says has got to be banned. Pretty much anything he says. We can't just let him speak freely. I shudder with the thought. And then, that Merle Dixon, that crazy Midwesterner, no telling what Merle is going to say. So we probably just ought to block those two to begin with, and then we wouldn't have to worry about it.
I don't know. I mean, it's strange. On the radio, there was a device that will allow you to drop somebody if they called in and they say something.
Right.
I never used it.
Huh.
And I think when you're talking about stuff that me and you talk about, you and me, you don't attract these people that will come in and be vulgar or, So anything other than, if somebody is being sarcastic and saying something, okay.
Right.
I never had to drop anybody on the radio or since we were doing the show. I don't know. I think the viewers can deal with that themselves and just, okay, that stupid person, let's not pay attention. I wouldn't worry much about it.
Right. Well, I haven't worried about it since.
Yeah, that's good. Now, here's something. We were talking about the recording in vMix, right?
Right.
And when I was recording with the Radeon card, the R9 285, I was with Wirecast, I was doing 1200K. Here I saw 1 megabit, 2 megabits, said, okay, 1 is closer. And I did it at 1, and it was perfect. Until I switched to the NVIDIA, the 1050. And the videos came out horrendous, but I don't even look at the videos now. I finish a show, I rename the recording, I upload it. If something is wrong, somebody should say something. They didn't. And then one night, one of the hosts wanted to show her guest what it looks like, and I said, what happened? Right away, I jumped on Facebook and downloaded theirs because I didn't want to work with the Ninja. And I was looking, and I said, yeah, all the shows since I changed the card are like that. So I changed it to 2 megabits. 2 megabits were on my show that was normally 1.1 gig, because it's 2 hours, became 1.7, 1.8. I said, well, it's going to be a bigger, so I took it through Handbrake. And Nick said, Amnon, don't do it. It's too compressed. You don't want to do it. Never mind. Let YouTube compress it. Don't worry about it. All right. The shows that were 1 hour and were like 400 and 500 megabytes became 8 and 9. The second week that I'm using it, now I'm looking at the size. Suddenly, the size is only about 50 meg bigger than what the original was, and I'm still at 2 megabits. I don't understand this. Everything now, I mean, the show from last week, I mean, from last Sunday, Computer Stuka Now, was 1.3 gig. Normally it's 1.1. What? I mean, I went from 1 megabit to 2 megabits. I expected to double. No. So at this point, I'm fine with 2 megabits. Hey, it's fine. It's good. It's not that much bigger.
Does it look
but
okay?
I still understand why the difference between the Radeon and the NVIDIA. Because I thought that NVIDIA is supposed to be better for vMix. As a matter of fact, I bought that card because you were telling me, oh, yeah, it'll do great because that's what they are gearing it to. The Radeon was doing some funky things the last few months. Every now and then, the whole system will go blank for about a second and then come back. So I didn't want to continue using it.
Today's show,
yeah,
that was 48 minutes, 41 seconds,
yeah,
is 2.75 gigabyte. 8, yeah. 1920 by 1080. NTSC 2997p, 8 megabits per second, H.264 main using the hardware encoder. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's fine if it's doing what it's supposed to do. But when it's going back, and I was talking with Nick about it yesterday, and he said, I'm not, the motion will change. So you need to look at the show itself and see, was there a lot of motion there?
Right.
It'll be bigger.
Right.
I mean, just talking heads, just like us, you know.
Right.
Sitting
yeah,
there
sports requires a higher bit rate.
Yeah, and it will be different depending on what you are doing with the camera. If I would imagine if you're zoomed out, it'll be less than if you are zoomed in and running all over the place and there's constant movement, big time. I don't know. See, that's it. I'm not a video professional. I don't understand all this encoding and the different ones and baseline and main and I mean, I use it and that's it. I'm not trying to learn that. What is it going to do for me? But I was going to, somebody mentioned FFmpeg.
Yeah.
Earlier in the chat.
Yeah.
Can you use, Nick was trying to tell me to use Wirecast to stream, to run Wirecast and vMix, do everything in vMix, but tell vMix to output it to Wirecast and let Wirecast do the streaming. So I could do what I want. I said, nah, that's ridiculous. It's too much stuff, you know.
I did that.
But if you have FFmpeg, which is a small script,
right,
and you can run it and output it to it and do all your profiles in it, that may be. I mean, I'm not saying that vMix, that Martin and them should change. If they feel that they should do it like that, that's fine. You had a very good video of how to do it the other way, but it's a lot of steps.
The FFmpeg, of course, that's what vMix uses as the streaming engine.
A lot of
Yeah.
but but I don't know that it exists by itself
No.
that you can use it.
No. You'd have to download it. In fact, I think the version that vMix uses is an older version than what's available today.
No.
But yeah, you could use it. But it's all command line format stuff. I guess there are some some GUIs out there for FFmpeg, but I've never been able to figure them out. So it added a level of complexity that I really wasn't interested in.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
that was
at
what it
this
was for me.
point, at this point, it's fine. I mean, I do Facebook on this machine, and I do the other ones on the other machine,
Uh huh.
which runs Wirecast.
Right. Tell me
And by
about
the
your
way,
machines. Go ahead. Sorry.
by the way, talking about CDNs, there is a CDN that's been out for a while. It's free.
Hmm.
ULiveNow.tv. There's only about 4 or 5 of us that are using it. The delay on it is about 1 to 2 seconds.
Uh huh.
Anybody can use it. So go use it. It's free.
It's not Flash, is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Again, I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Flash used to be when you
I
used
think
Flash
you're
Media
right.
Lab Encoder.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It is Flash. That's right. Because
Yeah.
after I upgraded the laptop that I use for the monitoring here, I had to go and enable Flash to be able to see the link from ULive Now. Yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
you're right.
But YouTube has gotten the latency down to 2 to 3 seconds.
Not when I do it.
Well, you've got a choice. You can choose how much latency you want. And the ultra low latency is down to 1 to 2. The low latency, I think, is like 10.
Why would you want longer?
The ultra low latency doesn't allow the DVR feature, so you can't actually rewind it live and listen again. Um,
Okay,
and
I guess I
then,
need.
yeah. And I think there's probably more error correction and a smoother stream. Um, I think for people that have low uplink bandwidth, they don't want to use the low latency or the ultra low latency because there's some error correction or something built into the higher latency one, which of course is why it has higher latency, so it has times to go in and fix all the things. All of them seem to do the transcoding about the same. So this show is live at 1080p in YouTube, and YouTube automatically, practically immediately, transcodes it to 720, 480, 360, 240, and 144. So it's great for folks that are watching on a phone and using their data plan to provide internet. That's why I've stuck with YouTube as long as I have. Yeah, Mike posted ulivenow.tv in the
Yeah.
in the chat. Thank you, Mike.
Who do I use? I use ULive Now 24/7. I use Stream.me 24/7. I use Mixer 24/7. And I use YouTube 24/7. I was using Daily Motion also, but they changed their thing, and now they knocked everybody off, and they're telling me we have to uh, verify that you own all these videos before we let you do the live. I said, okay.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. The lawyers got
What do you-
involved.
Well, I mean, I do. So what? What now?
But you have to prove it. We want to see a title, a certificate of ownership. It'll cost you $15 per video.
I know, because they were transcoding too.
Right. Now, when I go to your website and I want to watch either a live show or even a whatever is streaming now, I have the choice of watching any number of those different CDNs.
Right.
How did you program that so when I click the CDN, it doesn't reload the whole page? It just reloads the player.
I'm
That's
not a
cool.
programmer. My system administrator,
Okay.
Ron, did it for me. I mean,
Okay.
he figured out how to put it in there, and he made it easy so I can change them. It's just text for me, and I go and I change it, and I can add or delete or make one the default or another one the default. And I I don't know. I have no idea.
Mike Latta is asking that he says that you Live Now has a chat room. Do you know if it's any good?
Never used it. They put a lot of emphasis. I mean, I know the guy that's running it because we talked a lot. That it's almost like if you talk to him, the chat is more important than the video. It
Aha.
works, but I never used it. I'm using it just because I'm taking all these and I'm embedding him on Nissan Communications.
Right.
I hardly ever go there.
Right. Well, it's like
And that,
what we do with Facebook for my church. We've embedded the Facebook feed in the church's website, but
right.
any comments that are made don't appear in the church's website. They would just be on the Facebook itself.
See, but that's one of the workflow that I have to do is Facebook is only live when I do a live show.
Right.
If you go to the watch live, there's no Facebook
Uh-huh.
option to choose.
Right.
Only when the show is live. And at that point, what I have to do is I have to go to Facebook and I have to go to more settings and open the embed and get the number.
Right.
Capture this, come back to my shell, my SSH, and go into a text file and just replace that number.
Right.
And now the one that's under the show is active and you can watch it on the Facebook. And the Facebook resolution is the best.
Really?
The ones, but that's by choice that I do it. Over there, I'm doing 1500 when I'm sending it to Restream.io or
Okay.
to ULive Now.
Okay.
On Facebook, it is you don't set your resolution.
Right.
Not with vMix or not with Wirecast. They set it up. I mean, Telestream set it up. vMix is setting up because they go according to what Facebook requires. And I
Yeah,
think
but
it's like
you can do 1080 to Facebook now.
no, I'm saying not this the bitrate. I'm sorry.
Oh, the bit rate.
I'm showing how much I know. The bitrate on the other machine is 1500. With Facebook, I think with Wirecast it was 2.8. And they set it up and that's it. You cannot change it. Now,
Huh.
if you do custom RTMP, you can change it.
Right.
But if you click on it, then you can't. And obviously the same thing is with vMix. So the resolution is really clear. I mean, the picture is very clear. I always operated under the way of thinking. My way of thinking is people that come to watch shows like ours or talk shows are not there to look and see, oh, this is the pimple maybe a little bit there, or is that hair sticking out? They are there to learn, to listen, and to absorb what you have to tell them, not the way that you look. So I always stayed, and this is why I stayed with lowers with SD for a long time.
You did.
I
Yep.
said, nobody, I mean, those people don't care if it's HD because they're there to hear what we have to say. They want to ask questions. They want to hear answers, you know.
Yeah, but that's because you've got an old audience. You know, all your audience has bad eyesight anyway, so they don't care. They just want to be able to hear it. Just turn up the volume loud enough.
Hey,
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But
Oh my goodness.
but
Good night, Chris. Thanks for watching. Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah. Now you were pretty bold last Sunday, and you had me on your show, and I understand that you had over 12,000 viewers for that show. That's pretty
yep.
impressive. You normally have more when I'm not there, huh?
No, no, it's been climbing in the last 2 months. I mean, we used to get that kind of numbers, these kind of numbers in the beginning, and
Uh-huh.
then it slowly like went down. And a few months ago, it started climbing again. I don't know what to attribute it to. No idea.
Right. We
And
always get. Go
what
ahead.
I never really cared much about the numbers. And I told the hosts here, said, don't pay attention to that. You need to do a show. Never mind if you have 10 people or 1,000 people. Do the show. Now I'm beginning to get some of those hosts say, yeah, but we need to get statistics so we can get advertisers.
Prove it.
And I'm
Yeah.
saying, why do you think that to go on TV, you get people to advertise? What do you think? They can count the people that are watching? No, it's all estimates. So you estimate. I don't know. I never believed in okay, if the numbers are low, something is wrong. Nah. But you start saying we have.
No, we've had some astounding numbers on Facebook, and then when you dive into the numbers and watch the average view time might be like, 28 seconds.
Yeah, that's a lot of
So
those. I'm sure.
that's
I
not a
don't.
good stat.
I don't even log the pages of the shows in my weblog. I mean, I stream it on my own servers,
Right.
the Delta Force servers. The thing is that the chat, the way that the chat works, the first day that we used that chat, the log went about 10 times bigger than normal. And I'm saying, what's going on? I asked Ron. I said, Ron, what's going on? He said, oh, it is updating every 10 seconds. And every 10 seconds, it's like reloading the whole thing. And I said, oh, no, we can't do that. I don't want that. I don't care about this. So I told him to take it out. And later on, I also realized that it was a good thing. There in IRC, you go to the chat and it forces you into the chat if you don't choose anything.
Right. Right.
You become a number. I don't know if here, when you become a number here, is it because you did not choose a name or it's because it logged you in whether you like it or not?
You can lurk without signing in. Yeah.
Okay. So the thing is, I can do that with PHP free chat, the one that we're using. But Mike was saying, he said, Amnon, if somebody doesn't want to sign in, why make them sign in?
Right.
Why log them in? Why force them? Don't do that. And I said, oh, wow. Makes a lot of sense. Now, it's even more important not to log this stuff in because of all the privacy stuff. I want people to know. They come in. I don't know who you are. I have your IP address, but I don't know who you are. I'm not going to send you spam. There's no emails and nothing. And I like it like that. Now, the thing with the numbers, though, 12,000 views. Did you see how many people were in the chat? 40, 50, 60.
Right. Right.
You not get the majority of these people into the chat. I don't care how much you ask them. And I figured out why.
Why?
People are treating what we're doing now the same way that they are treating their TV.
Right.
They are here to watch and to learn. Hey, no, I don't want to interact. I don't want to take part in it. I just want to sit, leave me alone. I'm maybe doing something in the kitchen. I just want to hear.
Right.
And
Right.
some of those shows have not even won. It is ridiculous. And I don't know what to do to get people in. My show, your show, some of the shows that have some technical or good stuff that somebody, yeah. But other than that, it's like talking to the wall.
I hate to do this, but somebody has come here that I need to talk to. They've arrived sooner than I planned.
Got your priorities straight.
But thank you so much for coming on the
Thank
show
you.
again today.
Sure.
I really
I'll
appreciate
talk to
it.
you. Yep.
All right. Very good.
Bye, everybody.
Say goodbye to Amnon. And thank you
Bye-bye.
guys for tuning in today, and gals. I loved having you here, and I appreciate your support. And if I can help you with anything, shoot me an email and let me know, and we are going to let this run out.